Hello, it's Charles McCall, and I am back with you again for short devotional thoughts from 1 Timothy. And today we're in 1 Timothy chapter 5, and we're in verses 17 and 18 is where we're at right now. There's really so much stuff in these latter verses, but just a few thoughts. Let the elders who rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in the word and doctrine. For the scripture says, "You shall not muzzle an ox while it treads out the grain, and the laborer is worthy of his wages." And so this passage teaches that there are elders who lead the church. And so that's what we believe. The Bible teaches that the leadership of the church is not a one-man show, but there is a group of elders who lead the church spiritually, who make decisions on the direction of the church, where we're going, what should be done, what shouldn't be done, and these are the eldership team. And there's usually one senior elder that stands out among the others, and we call him the senior pastor, or the senior leader would probably be more accurate. And so these elders of the church would probably consist of apostles, prophets, evangelists, pastors, and teachers, the fivefold ministry that's mentioned in Ephesians chapter 4. And they would oversee the affairs of the church, each one representing a particular aspect of ministry according to their spiritual gifts and their calling. And so, but I want to say just something briefly about this passage. Tells us that the guys or gals or the people who are leading the church should receive honor. Double honor, in fact, for those who preach and teach. That the work of the pastor and of the leaders is very difficult. I just want to say this from my experience of working with pastors and being a pastor for many years. I'm not a pastor currently, so I can say this, is that the men and women who serve as the leaders of your church, whatever terminology you put on them, they work hard. It is a very, very difficult calling for them. Let me say this, for most of them, it's a calling. And when you are called by God, it means you can't deny it. You've got to do it. So many pastors feel like quitting. So many pastors have financial issues. So many pastors invest in the members of their church. They want to see good things happen for the members of their church. And yet, many times, the members of their church gossip about them and betray them, and they don't get much of a salary, and they struggle along. This is not what God's plan is. In the Old Testament, the priest receive the offerings, and they were able to partake of the offerings of the people to be able to survive and to live their life and to sustain themselves. And so, briefly, your pastor, your leader, works very hard. He or she should receive double honor. What that means, first of all, honor by the words that we speak. Tell your pastors, tell the senior leaders of your church how much you appreciate them and how much you love them, and stay committed to them. Give them honor in word, give them honor in finances. The leaders of the church don't have to be rich, but they should have enough. They should have enough to get by on so that they can take care of their family. I remember meeting with one guy one time, and his mindset was that pastors should barely get by and have hardly nothing. I don't know where that came from, but it sure didn't come from the Bible, because this verse tells us that those who teach and preach should receive double the honor, double the finances. And so encourage your pastor with words, encourage your pastor with a decent salary, encourage your pastor with special gifts that you give him, take him out for dinner, buy something for him and his wife, buy something for his children, buy something for their house, something that's just a blessing that maybe they're hesitant to spend money on themselves. And so I want to encourage you to take care of your pastor and to give them honor. Now, there's two sides of this. It says, let the elders who rule well be counted worthy of double honor, especially those who labor in the word and doctrine. And this word labor in the Greek language means work really hard. And so the one side is you, pastor, Christian leader, you need to be working hard. You need to be using your time wisely, using your finances wisely, and working smart to serve God's people. And on the other hand, God's people need to be taking care of their leaders.